Okay, the only thing I know about Gorgonzola, legit, is in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island when they all get, like, jobs. Scooby-Doo gets a job at the airport.
Oh, yeah, the airport.
Like, sniffing for contraband. And they take the contraband cheese to, like, the contraband room, and it's just full of food, and they just
they eat it all.
Yeah, and their boss comes in and goes, "You ate all the contraband." He's like, "No, we didn't. We saved you a couple Gorgonzolas."
You're a couple of Gorgonzolas.
God, I love that movie.
You know, I'm really surprised. At least I don't think it ever did, but I'm surprised it never got like a Blu-ray release. I saw it at.
That was one of the direct-to-video ones, though. That one was like.
I saw it in the bin at Walmart, and it was like it was like a double feature movie, and the other movie was the Alien Invaders.
I like that one too.
The art's, it's funny because the art for those movies just looks so good to me.
Okay. So before we continue this conversation about Scooby-Doo, welcome to the Project Yar podcast that I don't know what we call it. What do we call it? Yar Shack.
Yar Shack?
Yeah. That's it.
Welcome back to Yar Shack.
And today we're sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
I wish.
E-subs.
I wish we were. At least we get some money.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Alright, so, okay, Scooby-Doo, right? What's your favorite, like, Scooby-Doo movie ever?
Movie?
Yeah, like an animated movie or the live-action one.
I'm gonna have to go to Zombie Island.
That one's pretty
Zombie
good.
Island, yeah, it's just.
I love the song. There's a song in Zombie Island, like
the Terror Time thing.
Yeah, and something about it reminds me of The Offspring.
Yeah, I've seen somebody review. I think it actually was the Nostalgia Critic reviewed it and said that that's the vibe he got from it too.
But my favorite one is Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase.
That's a good one.
Oh, dude, I love that one.
I just love the
Ooh, we talking about movie though?
Yeah.
Are we only talking about movies?
Yeah, but like even when I was a little kid, just the concept of like going inside a video game has always been super cool. And the fact that Scooby-Doo went into a Scooby-Doo video game and hung out with virtual Scooby-Doo while trying to catch a computer. Like, that movie makes no fucking sense, but it's so much fun.
It is.
Do you remember Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost?
No, I don't.
It's not one of, because like what's funny is Zombie Island, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase.
Yeah.
I think those were like the big three of that franchise, but
probably
this one went like kind of under the radar. A lot of people love it because it's got a chick band in it.
Zombie Island.
That's called the Hex Girls.
The Hex Girls, yeah. They showed up in the TV show a couple times too.
Yeah, what's funny is the guy that's supposed to be like, you don't know he's the villain, but you're pretty sure he's something that's supposed to be the villain, right. And his ancestor he's trying to bring back, and she's like an evil witch and everything. But the guy who voices him, guess who he is, Brad?
Mark Hamill.
No, I'll give you a hint. It's gonna give it away anyway. Surprise!
Oh fuck! What is his name? I know who that is. Oh fuck!
It's Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he plays the voice of that guy. What's funny is he tries to do his best like New England accent, and it doesn't do well.
Okay, so my favorite one's Zombie Island. Yours is that one.
Yeah, you guys both said Zombie Island.
All right, what favorite mashup?
Hold on, I was gonna throw out another good one. That it's not even from Scooby-Doo, but it's from this like a spin-off thing where it was just Shaggy and Scooby and none of the rest of the gang is there, and I don't think Scrappy's there in this one, but he is in some of the other ones from this like collection of movies, and I don't remember what it's called.
Is it Reluctant Werewolf?
The one where he turns into a werewolf and he has to do the Mario Kart race?
Yeah.
The wacky race, speed racing thing?
Is that
it? Punch? Yeah, that one. And then there's the other one where it's literally fucking Luigi's Mansion, where he gets like a mansion that his like uncle gave him, and he has to go, and it's full of ghosts and shit.
Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers or something.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I remember these being on Cartoon Network like
I do
all
too. That's
the
where
time.
I saw them, obviously. I think I used to own Zombie Island on VHS, and then I know my grandma bought me a like a soundtrack to the Alien Invader one, because it literally had the song "Flying Purple People Eater" sung by like Scooby-Doo and them on that soundtrack, and I remember like thinking it was the coolest thing ever.
I was talking to somebody recently about Scooby-Doo, but we were talking about how I didn't like the second live action movie, and they were like, "Oh, I can't believe you don't like that."
Which
and I was
one?
like,
There's a bunch of live action movies.
Of the original ones with
Oh, okay, yeah.
Matthew Lillard and all them in it.
Okay.
But I was like, we watched it when I was in like middle school.
I didn't like that one either. The only joke that I thought was kind of funny was the cotton candy monster that they just ate.
Yeah.
What's your favorite mashup with Scooby-Doo?
Probably the one with Batman.
Yeah, that's most people's go-to.
Mine would be Supernatural.
I've never seen that one because that's too new for me, Nick.
Okay, fine. What about the Courage?
No, I never saw that one either.
I've not seen it either. I know about it. Courage has been off the air for so long now. Like, the show's still good, but like the fact that it got a mashup really makes no sense in this day and age.
Oddly enough, I was talking about Scooby-Doo like 2 months ago with some of the guys at work. Because, I remember why. I bought Scooby snacks. That's why it came up. But we were trying to figure out, like, do kids nowadays know Scooby-Doo? Is Scooby-Doo still on TV? And so I was looking up, like, when the last season of Scooby-Doo ran. And it was, like, now 2 years ago because it was ended in, like, 2019. And apparently it's on HBO Max is the only way to watch it.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers.
So, I mean, I don't know. I was going to say I don't know anybody with an HBO Max account, but I have one technically. Came with my phone, but I've never used it.
My sister has one because she would.
I mean, I can tell you exactly what's on HBO Max, Scooby-Doo wise.
Well, I just know that the newest TV series is like exclusively on there, and it's only 2 seasons.
My sister watched the Harry Potter reunion. That's how I even know she has it.
Yeah, they used Emma, not Watson, but Emma Stone in one of the pictures for Emma Watson without realizing it.
It was Emma Roberts. It was Julia
Roberts'
niece.
It's one of the Emmas.
I just saw the thing and I laughed at it because I was like, she wasn't even famous around that time, so it doesn't make any sense. Somebody messed up.
I don't know Harry Potter.
Such good movies.
Are they?
They are.
All of them? They're all great? Not a single one of them?
I like all of them.
No. I don't know. I can't think of any series that has that many entries where every single one's like good.
The first 2 are good because they play more to the kind of child because it's supposed to be young kids, and then it kind of gets darker as the series goes on because they're getting older.
Yeah.
And because he's being preyed upon by an older man.
Yeah. That's kind of my opinion on Harry Potter throughout my entire life. It's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy them, but I think you would have to watch them with Tanya.
But I've seen 3 of them. I think I've seen the first 3. Is Prisoner of Azkaban the third one?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen the first 3 of them.
Goblet of Fire is a really good one.
Oh wait, I think I've seen Goblet of Fire. That's the one with the Asian chick, right?
Yes. It's also got.
Okay, so I've seen 4 of them.
It's also got Robert Pattinson, who is,
That's the time travel one, right? No.
No, the third one. Prisoner of Azkaban is the time travel one.
I don't remember. I just remember the second one. The scene with the giant spiders scared me a lot.
Yeah, the 4th one, there's a lot of people who die in that movie. Which is funny, because, like, in the first few, like, I know Professor Quirrell dies, the guy that originally
Every defensive against the dark arts dies.
Yep. Because of Voldemort. Because of Lord Moldy Butt.
I watched some what was it? Some like theory. I think it was a film theory that MatPat did about how each time Voldemort created a Horcrux or whatever, it was like a piece of himself. So each time he made one, it was like significantly less of himself because it kept cutting himself in half or whatever.
Yeah, it
so
made
by
him
the
weaker.
end of it, Harry Potter was more Voldemort than Voldemort was, just because of the scar on his head or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah. I remember that theory, and I was like, I guess that would make sense because he's basically.
There's another YouTuber I watch whose name is, well, his name is Marcus, but his YouTube channel is called the Cosmonaut Variety Hour, and he did a review of all the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And I think it was the second one. He was, it's Chamber of Secrets. He was like explaining like how the guy like rewrote his name to be Voldemort or whatever in his like journal or whatever, and the way he described it, he was like, yeah, this seems like a really edgy kid who's like trying to be a badass, be like, I'm Lord Voldemort. It's just really funny.
Yeah. What's funny is like anytime I think of, because before I got a chance to even watch Harry Potter movies, because I didn't get to watch them until like, I don't know, 2009, 2010.
Oh,
but
I remember
Billy and Mandy made fun of it with a guy called Nigel Planter. But instead of Lord Voldemort, the bad guy was called Lord Moldy Butt, and every time you said his name, it would make things just break.
Makes sense.
There was one part where he says, Billy says his name, and he goes, "Don't say that name." He goes, "Say what name?" He goes, "Lord Moldy Butt," and his glasses just explode.
I watched.
It's like that's pretty
like a lot of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, just because it was like on TV, and I used to just watch TV all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember liking it, but I don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
No, I don't either.
He had a son who was a spider.
Well, there's two things I remember about it. All right, there's the classic quote: "You can pick your nose, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friend's nose."
Yeah.
And then I think it's the movie where they pick number 3 from Codename Kids Next Door to replace him.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
What's funny is there's a video you should look up, and it's like quotes by Billy, and it's where people have tweeted the social media account for Billy and Mandy, and it's literally all the stuff that he says in the show, and it's really funny. One of them is everybody. Do you remember an episode where they're trying to cure Billy of his fear of clowns? No. And he's like, clowns will be the dominant species, and they'll destroy us all to make it happen. And then for literally like, I think 2 minutes, he says, "Destroy us all," except for this one little break where he's in the lunch.
Destroy us all.
Yeah,
Destroy
he's in the lunch
all.
line. He goes, "I'll have the chicken," and then he goes right back to saying it.
Destroy us all.
That's pretty
Destroy
funny. No, I don't remember that. But it makes me think of that, which this show obviously came afterwards, but with Chowder. Yeah. I don't even remember what it's the bunny girl says something to him, and he starts spitting his drink everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a montage.
Oh, she calls him her boyfriend.
Okay.
And he's like, "What?"
And it's just like a montage of him spitting, like everywhere he goes. Like he stops, brushes his teeth, immediately just starts spitting the soda out again, or like he's sleeping, goes.
Yeah, that's good.
It cracked me up.
I remember when Cartoon Network shows used to be good.
I don't.
Toonami came on.
I think Gumball had a good run.
I never watched Gumball. That was past, that was.
It was a little bit, it was a little bit more.
I've seen clips from it, obviously. Like,
yeah.
I think I've seen that clip where the balloon is like eating like like an eggplant or something by shoving it up its ass.
Yeah.
But and I've seen random clips like that where I think he's a rabbit, and he's like the rabbit kid's dad or whatever, but he's like super jacked, and somebody put the music from JoJo behind it and stuff. Like I've seen clips of it.
They made an anime version of like the mom and this neighbor's mom fighting.
And
it was pretty good.
You remember John, that guy who doesn't hang out with us anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe because we all moved away.
He showed me a porn parody of it once on Pornhub.
Nice.
And it was pretty funny.
What's funny is there's an episode of Chowder. I wanted to see the whole episode because I saw a few clips and I was like, this is kind of weird for like a...
Is it the one where he gets his hand stuck in the puffer machine?
No.
I love that one.
This one is, it's basically kind of mocking, I don't want to say The Walking Dead, but basically like Gumball and the fish like coming to school and they're like really happy and everything.
But I thought it was Chowder that we were talking about.
We said Gumball.
I thought you went back to Chowder.
No.
Oh, I got confused. That's why I said the hand puffer thing, because that's the episode of Chowder where he gets his hand stuck in the cream puff puffer.
Yeah.
And he gets a giant hand. He goes around trying to help people, and then
he beats up people unintentionally.
No, like he goes around and keeps accidentally helping people, and then his hand gets small again. And he's like, I want to be helpful, so he gets his hand stuck back into it again, and then just starts wrecking everything while screaming, "Helpful!"
But the thing that I was talking about was there's it's supposed to be like they come into school and the teacher is like miserable, a miserable kind of person.
Right.
She tells them to stop being happy. Well, they get like a happiness overload and get sent to the nurse's office, and they start turning into these drooling like zombies and turning everybody into that.
Okay.
I was like, that's actually a weird but creative way of doing a zombie apocalypse without somebody like getting eaten.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I think it was actually supposed to be more like what's that movie? 28 Days Later.
Oh.
I think that's right. 28 Days Later, where it's like a disease going around.
Yeah. I mean, that's not the only one like that, but yeah.
But I was like, this kind of reminds me of stuff from like my childhood, where you would have people who like, more adult things being like, kids need to be exposed to this, but we can't actually expose them to it.
You remember the episode of Codename Kids Next Door which one's the fat one? That's number 2, right?
Yeah, number 2.
Where number 2's like an LA noir detective guy, and she's using pink eye crust on her like muffins or something.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that.
And he like solves the case and then starts eating the muffins anyway. He goes, "What? They're good."
Yeah.
There's multiple episodes where he's like a crime detective like that, but
yeah, what's funny is Codename Kids Next Door was a really good show.
Yeah, I remember that one really well. Like I remember one of the main villains was like Count Spankula or something.
Yeah. Dude, the last episode, I didn't realize the last episode was so sad because I didn't get to watch it. I didn't even know.
Was it an episode or was it a movie? The one where Nigel gets too old and has to quit.
No. I'm almost positive it's the final episode because at the end, like, it does like it does a bunch of, they're all live action people at the end. It's really weird. But in the episode, number 1 basically gets picked by the Galactic Kids Next Door and has to leave Earth and all of his friends and family behind. And I'm like, that's really sad for a kid's show. What the heck? But it was a really good episode.
Wasn't there an episode?
But the movie was pretty good though.
Wow. Okay. Am I thinking of the movie then? Like, isn't there one where Nigel, like, he officially gets too old and has to retire?
There in the movie.
And then he like finds out that his dad was part of the Kid Next Door back when he was a kid and stuff. Okay, that's the movie.
He ages himself up to where I'm trying to remember how it works because it's been a long time since I've seen the movie. But yeah, he ages himself up for some reason, and then because like they bring back it turns out that his dad and father, the guy that screams all the time, are actually brothers.
Yeah. And father's the guy who's in charge of the delightful children from down the lane.
Yeah.
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 And he uses the
Firepower.
recommissioning thing to bring back their dad, who's like 100 times worse than him, and is turning everybody into old zombies.
Yeah.
What's your favorite like TV show that got a movie?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
You got a movie made?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I think mine's like Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, I'd
the
have
movie
to go
for that
with
was
that.
pretty great. I like when his brother showed up at the end.
Yeah. And it turns out his brother's a big asshole, and then all the kids come together to save him from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
Eddie admits that that was the whole reason he was even like that, was because like his brother was terrible to him.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Such a douchebag.
I think, to me, like one that had like an actual like budget and got put in theaters, like looking back on it, it's still super depressing, but the fact that it looks really good for when it came out, I would say the Rugrats movie. It just looks really good.
Doesn't that have multiple movies? So which one are you talking about?
Yeah. Reptar?
I'm gonna say the first one.
Okay. The one where his brother's born.
Paris.
Yeah.
Not the Chucky one.
No, it's the one where his little brother, where Dill gets born.
Technically, I'm gonna lump them all together because they all have really good quality because they're such big budget films.
Then, but the thing with that movie is, like, that movie came out and then the show kept going and Dill was just part of the cast.
Yeah.
So that wasn't like a big finale movie or anything.
No. Were we doing finales?
No, I was gonna say not that it has to be that. I'm just.
Yeah.
A show that got a movie made out of it.
Yeah. See, like, you can't say Jimmy Neutron because that was a movie that got a TV show made out of it.
Yeah.
Well, we're just talking about cartoons. We're not talking about any TV show.
I mean, I guess you can talk about any TV show, but I probably won't know what it is unless it's a cartoon.
Or an anime.
Yeah, I don't want to count anime. I think that should be a separate category.
Okay.
I mean, we can separate it by all of them if you want.
Can we talk about movies that got really shitty movies made from TV shows?
I guess.
Avatar.
Avatar has a movie?
The Last Airbender movie. Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
good.
the live action movie that M. Night Shyamalan did?
Yeah.
I don't count that as being the same thing. Anyway.
I wouldn't either, because the way I took it was you were meaning like it was more or less a spin-off of the show, but it was a show. The show got made into a movie, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like with Firefly getting the big ending movie. What was that called? Not Singularity. Serenity.
Yeah.
That was pretty good
story and stuff. I was kind of thinking along that lines, but I didn't even think about Rugrats. But that's a good choice too.
The fact that Supernatural didn't get one is kind of odd because they had teased it for a while that they were thinking about it.
Did My Life as a Teenage Robot ever get a movie?
I don't think so. What about Danny Phantom?
It got a TV movie, and so did Danny Phantom. Got like 3 TV movies, I think.
I think that counts.
But they never got like a actual. But then again, Ed and Eddie's wasn't a theater release.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It doesn't have to be like in a theater movie. Just like
I was just going.
Okay,
I was just going by where.
Oh yeah, Spongebob Movie's fantastic.
Yep, SpongeBob. The first one is better than the second one.
Don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
Teen Titans.
Oh, the Trouble in Tokyo. Yep.
Oh, I completely forgot about that because the first thing that popped into my head was Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, that one would count too.
Yeah, that one's really good.
And that was actually a good movie.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I ain't hating on it.
Oh, there's like a couple videos that we made like right after we watched that movie where like Nick just kept going crack an egg on it, and I'm like, that's not even the line. It's lay an egg on it.
Yeah, and I think. Oh wait, no. Nick also was doing the caca thing.
Yeah, well, we were all doing that because that's just.
Yeah, we were all doing that.
When I played through BioShock Infinite for the first time, before I'd even seen that movie, every time I used the like crow power, I yelled "caca."
I was laughing at a video I saw where it was 2 PokeTubers, Pokemon 7 and M&J TV were like having a contest to see how many legendaries they could catch.
Okay.
And he encountered Reshiram, and he goes, "Caw caw, I'm a Reshiram," and he goes, "Pretty sure Reshiram doesn't caw caw."
The fuck's a Reshiram?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know what Reshiram is?
No.
It's the mascot for Pokemon Black, I believe. It's the big white one from Gen. Yeah, the big white one from Gen 5. Yeah, and it's funny because it cuts to a scene from was it Pokemon Generations, the more accurate anime than with Ash in it. I think that's what's called.
Satoshi?
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, it cuts to N using it in a battle, and it's like taking off, and then it cuts to him going, "Caw caw, I'm a Reshiram."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, anything after like Gen 2 that's not like a mainstay like Pokemon, and you just say the name, I'm gonna be like, the what?
Yeah.
Like, if you showed me a picture of it, it'd be like, oh, that guy. But you just say his name, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I described it, and you were like, oh, that, yeah.
Like, the same thing. What was, Celebi? That same thing happened with Celebi, and they made a fucking movie about Celebi, and I didn't remember who he was when you said the name.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
Celebi.
that movie, too.
Yeah, that's a sad movie. That's a really sad movie.
Yeah.
Celebi's like the first Pokemon they showed dying.
What's the saddest kids movie you can? No, I'm just kidding.
The Rugrats movie. Because at one point Tommy was literally gonna smear like banana stuff on his brother and let monkeys take him away. Where they would probably tore his limbs off, because that's just how monkeys are.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Monkeys
the first
be like
movie.
that.
Yeah, monkeys be like, does that come dislocated?
The first Pokemon movie sadder in Japanese, and I stand by that statement.
What?
The first Pokemon movie is sadder in Japanese.
Oh, I've not even seen it in Japanese.
There's a whole mini section of the movie that gets cut out about Mewtwo as a child hanging out with a little girl, and then she dies.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is sad.
They cut that whole section out of the American movie.
So take that, Internet. Brad doesn't think Ash being hit by 2 big blasts and dying is sad.
No, it's not, but Pikachu crying is very sad.
What about all the other Pokemon who cry?
I think we've gone over this before, because I think Nick was trying to make fun of me for it, because like I'm like seeing Pikachu get like sad and start crying and trying to zap Ash to wake him up makes me think of like animals that don't realize their owner is dead.
Yeah.
And like won't leave that, and it's just really sad, and it makes me kind of tear up.
It is sad.
Also, randomly speaking about Pokemon, because we were talking about like Sega and Nintendo this morning, and I was pulling stuff up looking at it. The second Pokemon movie, Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
HAL Laboratories, the people who made Kirby, they helped make that movie, like some of the CG in it.
Oh, that's cool, actually. I would have never known that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either if I hadn't been just like surfing Wikipedia looking at shit.
So, earlier when I messaged y'all and said that comment that dude said about Sony buying Nintendo, apparently there's a thing going around now where people are like, oh, maybe Microsoft will buy Nintendo, and I'm like,
they've been saying that for years, and Nintendo is not going to let themselves be bought by an American company.
No. They're like, well, Microsoft is worth so many trillions of dollars. I was like, so? It ain't about the money.
What's crazy to me is that they spent, if I remember correctly, Minecraft, right? When Microsoft bought Minecraft, that was like $2.5 billion or something.
Yeah.
And then they bought Bethesda for like $7 billion, and then Activision's like $70 billion.
Which is funny.
Next, they're gonna buy Disney for $700 billion.
Oh, I actually laughed at a conversation that was going on there, because they were like, somebody was. They were talking.
Didn't Microsoft pay more for Activision than Disney did for Fox? Is that right?
Yeah, actually, I think that's right.
That's crazy. I'm actually gonna check.
it's really funny because I made a joke because they were talking about Disney and Microsoft like fighting each other to buy each other. I said, yeah, I said they'll have a Smash tournament. Full stocks, let's do this. The only person winning in that is Nintendo because they're like, they're playing our game, so who cares?
Okay, no. Disney spent $71.3 billion. So it's like a couple billion less for Microsoft to... I mean, that's still crazy.
What's funny is, like, when I looked it up, it said that Microsoft's net worth, I think is what I looked up, was like in the trillions.
Yeah, Microsoft's worth a bunch of... Like, they're one of the richest companies in the world.
Well, the thing
Bill
is,
Gates
people
could
don't...
literally stop world hunger. He could do it twice over.
Well,
See,
Bill Gates could
technically...
but the company could.
Yeah.
The company could technically
get us... Yeah, the company could technically get our company or get our country out of debt, but they won't. But
yeah, because then they'll have no money left.
Well, they'll make it all back real quick. What's funny is, like, the argument that I made online was people talk about how Nintendo isn't really worth that much and everything. I'm like, well, if you look at all the other companies, they don't just sell video games. I mean, Microsoft is huge.
Right.
Huge, yeah.
Well,
hugely involved in PCs.
Nintendo doesn't just sell video games either. They make like cards and.
Yeah, but that's only for Japan. I don't think you can get that stuff over here unless you order it.
Them, and then obviously.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like in the market industry.
They make some kind of commission off of like Pokemon cards and things like that. Like they not all their money's coming through video games. They own all these intellectual properties and stuff. Like I know the Pokemon company is like its own company, but Nintendo has their fingers in that shit.
Oh, Nintendo's more or less funding them. If Shigeru Miyamoto never met Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon, I don't think Pokemon would have actually ever took off.
Well, the thing about that is, like, the Pokemon company and Game Freak and all them, like, these are all separate companies that all work on the same property or whatever. And I was looking stuff up about Game Freak earlier. Game Freak put out a game in 2015 called something the Badass Hippo or something on the DS, and it was published through Sega.
That's weird.
They make things that aren't Pokemon, and they haven't in a while, but yeah, they do.
Well, they made that one game fairly recently. I don't remember what it was called. It was something about town. Mm-hmm. I don't remember anything about it, but
yeah, I don't.
I remember people
just looking at a list of things that they've made, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize they made this many things. Same thing with HAL, because I associate Kirby with Nintendo, right? Or Kirby's a Nintendo game, which is made by HAL, but HAL is not owned by Nintendo, and they can make whatever game they want for whoever they want, whenever they want to.
Yep.
It was just kind of blew my mind, because I always just associated this character with this thing, and I just assumed they were within the same company, and they're not.
Yeah, because it's like Sakurai. People always associate him with Smash, and that's true. But Kirby's his baby.
Well, not even that.
That is his creation.
Yes, he did create Kirby, but Smash is made through HAL. So Nintendo doesn't even make Smash.
No, they just publish it.
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, you hear about companies licensing out their characters to other things all the time, but that's the most Nintendo thing, and Nintendo doesn't even make it.
Yeah. It's really weird, because people want to point out all of the Nintendo properties, but what's funny is if you really name off the three big ones, which is Mario, Donkey Kong, and Link, Legend of Zelda, that's their big three. I know they own Metroid. Metroid's theirs, but nobody ever really thinks about it half the time until somebody
even
brings
just
it up.
now, when you said Big Three, Donkey Kong was not the first. Like Donkey Kong didn't even pop into my head at all. They
it was
made
just
a Donkey
Zelda,
Kong game
Mario,
in years.
and Pokemon.
Which Pokemon's not even theirs.
Yeah, I know. Because it's Game Freaks.
Yeah.
Or I don't even think it's Game Freaks anymore. I think it's a property of the Pokemon Company. But,
I think it's them and Game Freak, because Game Freak's name still pops up on it.
well, yeah, because Game Freak makes the video game, but I don't think they own the IP.
That I don't know.
That's what I think the Pokemon Company owns everything Pokemon, but Game Freak makes Pokemon. You know, it's kind of like how, this is a bad example considering what just happened today, but Activision owns Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's made by Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Also, I learned something too about why I can't find Marvel Ultimate Alliance on PC. Apparently, the copyright? No, not copyright. The thing you talked about earlier.
Licensing?
Yeah. Apparently, they just didn't renew it, so you can't buy it online unless you pirate it.
Noise.
Because it was on Steam for a while, and then all of a sudden it just got pulled. It was the first and second ones, and I was like, well, that sucks. It's like, I really wanted to play that game. I love it. But what's funny is the third one that came out on the Switch isn't even published by Activision. It's a completely different company, which is pretty neat.
Well, I mean, I don't think Activision owned the right to it. I think they just had. It's like with the Star Wars games that have been coming out. Like Activision had an exclusive, or was it EA?
I think it was
EA had the exclusive contract on Star Wars games for like this period of time. But I mean, once that period of time is up, and I think it's already up because Star Wars games are going out to other publishers now. If EA doesn't like up the renewal on the Star Wars names or whatever, like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order could disappear from digital store shelves and you'd only be able to buy a physical copy.
Yep.
And by the time that happens, I mean, we'll probably be on like the PlayStation 6 or whatever, but still.
Yeah. What's funny is like if you played, like, going back to the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, like if you wanted to play, if you didn't have a choice but to play like on 360 or something like that, if you just bought a regular copy of the game, you're actually going to be missing out on a lot of characters, because for whatever reason they thought it would be a smart idea to be like, hey, if you pre-order this, we'll just complete the game for you. We'll just give you these.
I mean, obviously you can't buy the DLC and stuff for it anymore.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember whenever I finally got the completed version, I was playing as Venom, and then when I learned the original one was like, oh, you don't get Venom unless you like pre-ordered the special one, and then later on it was DLC, but when the DLC got took down.
Well, okay, so like I started playing Infamous Second Son, which I've had basically the entire time I've had a PS4, and I've never sat down to play it until like literally 2 days ago. They had there's this paper trail quest in the game that wanted you to log into a website like it was called like Infamous Paper Trail. This game came out in 2014, by the way. It's called like Infamous Paper Trail, and you were supposed to go to that website, and it was like this: you do something in the game, then you'd have to go on this website, solve a puzzle, go back into the game to figure out where to go next to access the second part of the mission. And you had to like jump back and forth between these two things, right? And I'm playing this game now, and that website doesn't exist anymore. So I'm like, oh, can I not do this quest anymore? And then I was reading up on it, and they updated the game in 2018 when the website went away, where now you don't solve anything. The game just says go here next.
You lose out on a bunch of like experience. Not you're not gaining experience, but you're like gaining a gaming experience that you could have done back then that now it's just obsolete.
Oh, you're losing a gaming experience, you mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it kind of takes away from like the idea of it, I guess.
Well, it's like Fable, like when everything started going towards like the Xbox One. Like if you were playing like Fable 2 and 3 before they did the backwards compatibility and everything, there was no way that you could really do like the online stuff and everything, because at one point like they didn't really, I don't want to say they turned the servers down, but they just disconnected so much that you just couldn't do it,
Right.
because they were trying to get the newer systems going.
And then so have you guys ever played Infamous, any of them?
I've never had a PlayStation, so.
Nick, have you ever played any of them?
Infamous?
Yeah, any of them at all?
Yeah, I played the first and second one.
Okay. So Infamous Second Son is you play as a different guy, voiced by Troy Baker, of course.
And like 8 other characters in the game.
Yeah. And like so.
Oh, and who else do I hear? Yuri Lowenthal.
Actually, I haven't heard him yet. I think I heard the guy who plays Kirito though, whatever his name is.
That's funny.
So in the original one, I've played the second one only once. So the original I played twice. I played it 3 times. I did good guy, bad guy, and then kind of like in the middle, which is worthless and you should never do that.
No, never.
And then the second one, I only did good guy run. I never went back and did a bad guy run. And then I'm playing Second Son right now, and I'm doing a good guy run. But like, I remember like there was things in the original one where it was like the game would slow down and be like, here's a moral choice, right? And Cole would have like this inner monologue where he'd be like, I really need to get past this gate, but this guy's not going to let me through the gate unless I go get him a sandwich or whatever. I guess I could just kill him and open the gate. What should I do? You know? Like, that was the moral conundrum. And then I'm playing this one, and the moral conundrum is like... Okay, so I guess I should set this up. So in this one, it's not like some like weird device like the Race Sphere that gave Cole powers. That's not what happened this time. Now it's like... It's basically a reboot, and it's basically the X-Men. Some people are just born with powers, and they're called conduits. And like there's all kinds of different powers, because in the original one, Cole just had like electricity powers, and I don't even remember the fucking dude's name you play as. Like, it's not Dennis, but it's something like that. And
Damien.
No,
I don't know. I was just making up something.
he's like an Indian or something, and he's named after something from a Western. Because he keeps talking about his tribe, so I think he's some kind of Native American. But they call him conduits, and like he has smoke powers, and he gets neon powers, and he gets computer powers, if that makes sense. And so it seems like his power is actually he can take powers from other people, but they don't lose their powers. He can just have everybody's powers, you know, like Charlotte or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it says his name is Delson.
Delson, okay. It's Dennis Delson, something like that.
It starts with a D.
Yeah. But so he, like, every moral conundrum you get in this one is basically you meet the new conduit that everybody calls a bioterrorist, and they're locking them up because it's basically the X-Men, you know, it's like a shitty metaphor for racism or whatever. And allegory, not metaphor, my bad. And the moral choice comes down to, should I lock this guy up or let him redeem himself? And like that's the choice. And it's like, okay. Like,
you know, that kind of make
the moral complexity of these games has never been like crazy, but I don't know.
You know what it reminds me of though?
What?
It reminds me of Force Unleashed 2. How they took the kind of moral choices and made them so simplified that it's just like, what was the point of that? Because at the end of the game, you know how it's like spare Vader or kill or strike him.
Yeah, but in
it's
the
like,
end, it doesn't matter because you die either way.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, and not only that, if
and
you
that game's like 5 hours. It's super fucking short. Although Second Son seems to be pretty short. I only played it for 2 days. Granted, that's all I did pretty much that day, but I'm already 86% of the way done with it. And it's very like Assassin's Creed style of like world design, where it's like, here's a bunch of blips on the map and they're like the exact same activities again and again, just kind of spread out. It's like, oh, go collect these, clear this base, destroy that thing, find this guy, and do enough of that to and then you get to do the big showdown and clear the area, and none of the bad guys will come back after that.
Yeah. It's really sad though. You said that about Force Unleashed 2. But either way you die. I was like, at least in the bad way, you die peacefully, because in the other one, you had to wait for Disney to be like, yeah, we're not continuing the franchise.
Okay.
It was a slow, painful death.
Sure.
Right.
I would have liked to have seen what they would have do with the Force Unleashed 3, but that's never going to happen.
The second one's good, but it's also shit at the same time.
Oh, it was so rushed. It was so obvious it was rushed.
And it's super short. There's like no content, barely any replay value.
Yeah.
And it's like, no wonder this game didn't fucking sell.
And not only that, it wasn't even really needed, because the Force Unleashed 1 kind of did everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you die at the end unless you choose the bad side, which.
And then I remember, because I had it on the PS2 and then I got it again later on, and they were totally different, because the one on the PS2 let you unlock like character skins, and you could run around playing as like Luke and stuff, which you could not do on like the 360 version and stuff, which I always thought was weird.
You can run around playing as Luke, but you got like Yoda on your back.
Yeah, no, they were like different costumes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Wii version is like completely different from anything I've ever seen.
The Wii was like
It's hilarious.
That's like being like, man, remember when they used to make Call of Duty for the Wii because they thought that was a good idea?
Yeah.
That's like, it's not. Stop.
I knew
Call of Duty for the DS.
No, well, yeah, they did that too.
Yeah, I think the DS versions were worse than the Wii versions. Because at least with the Wii, you had something you could technically aim with.
Well, I think the worst ones were actually the PSP versions, because the PSP doesn't have a second joystick. So it's like impossible to aim.
I learned that the Ghosts game, or not Ghosts, Black Ops, there we go. Mm-hmm. I learned that some of the best versions are on the Wii U, because people can use the gamepad to see where people are and then attack them. I'm like, that's actually pretty neat. That's something that you'll never see anywhere else.
What was that game that, like, the whole idea of it was that it was Call of Duty mixed with like a commander or whatever. Like, one guy had like a tablet, and he was like the UAV, and he could mark people and like do all this stuff, and then everybody else was like Call of Duty man down on the ground, following orders and shooting people and shit. Like, it seemed like a really cool idea, and then it like just crashed and burned because nobody cared.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it goes back to marketing. It goes back to them just really not doing a good job of selling this thing.
Well, I feel like nobody wanted to be the commander guy anyway, because all you're doing is like bleeping on the map like, they're over here. Like, that's not fun. It's like what was that? The Mario on the Wii U, where the guy with the game tablet just put down platforms for the other people to jump on.
Yeah.
Like, the only fun to be had if you're that guy making platforms is killing your friends when they're trying to get to the end of the level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just sitting there going, there's a platform, go ahead and jump on it.
On the really fast scrolling levels, you just make a block to where they can't jump.
Or like when they're jumping, you put it above them and they hit it and they just fall into a pit of lava or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's the only fun to be had in that.
Oh,
That's
no,
like
you got a point.
That's like I commented in a video about what the best version of Arkham City
I
was.
knew you were gonna say that. You always bring up how cool it was to be able to switch items on your utility belt.
Well, here's the
But
thing.
pressing up on the D-pad is not that much like it's not worse. It's actually faster.
I like the pad better.
I know you do. You bring it up all the time, and I'm fucking sick of it.
I don't bring it up all the time. Name the last time I brought it up.
Podcast episode 4.
Is that even accurate?
Probably, because you bring it up
Most
a lot.
likely. Most likely.
But now the conversation I had with the person, and they kept acting like they were getting really mad for me saying that I just prefer that better.
I'd get mad
They were
too.
like,
You never shut up about
They
it.
were like, it doesn't look good on it, and I was like, I never said it was
You know
the
what doesn't
best
look good
looking
on you?
game.
This repeated conversation.
Yeah. So okay, total tangent. But I have rewatched our old or re-listened because our old video podcasts don't have videos attached.
You
to them.
re-listened to our
I
shit.
have.
That
And it's
is
amazing how many times we've had the exact same conversation.
Sad, sad little man.
I re-listened to your Bonnaroo adventure where you're talking about how cool Bonnaroo was, and me and AJ were just kind of like,
It's
And?
whatever.
like, that sounds bad. We don't want to do that. And you're like, no, it's the coolest. And we're like, sounds pretty lame.
Yeah. Who wants to be out by people?
I think
It
it's
was before
interesting.
Corona, so it was like,
Like, I've re-listened to some of our things when the Xboxes and stuff before they came out, and things we were talking about, and then I re-listened to some that we were talking where they did come out, and we were talking about the exact same thing again.
that or that. Now that I'm using a computer now instead of a PlayStation
Yeah.
or an Xbox,
Right.
like I'm more pro.
You're that,
Oh my God,
You're that
I'm
MLG
watching-
You're
pro
more-
gamer.
Yeah, your hashtag
There's
pro
fucking
gamer,
8
hashtag
chickens.
life.
There's 8 chickens. They just took down an alligator.
What the fuck are you
The
looking
fuck?
at?
Far Cry 6.
Oh. Are you playing Far Cry 6 while we're doing this?
Yeah, why not?
Is that why you occasionally don't say anything for like 20 minutes?
No, I'm listening and I was enjoying the conversation.
He's listening to the podcast, but he's not subscribed.
What?
So you all should subscribe and ring the bell.
Yeah, at this moment you guys should subscribe.
Here's the graph
Like
that
and
I'm not
share.
going to put up on the screen.
Yeah, pointing at where you can push
Have you
the
ever
subscribe button.
noticed, like, honestly, have you ever looked at it that every YouTuber who puts up that graph, it's the exact same graph?
Oh, the one that says so many people
Yeah.
aren't subscribed.
Like,
I don't
nobody
even
takes
know
a
where that's at.
Nobody takes a picture of their own graph. They all have this
I think
same
it's wait. I
graph.
put her own up there. I do put her own up there.
I think Connor actually did one time, and he said this many people aren't subscribed. And it was like 69%, and he goes, "Nice."
Yeah, well.
I watched a video of his recently, actually right before we got together to talk on here. He was playing. Have you seen that Battleship game, or have you seen that video where he's playing against Iron Mouse?
No.
They're playing Battleship, and there's like a thing that gives you like abilities. It looks pretty cool, but he said, I'm going to ruin her economy just like my ancestors did. I was like, oh. His entire chat was just scrolling like, dude.
That's pretty funny. Speaking
He's like, I don't know if I can get away with that.
Speaking of stuff, AJ wants to do a video where we like draw things, which we've tried to do before with Pokemon, both in real life with whiteboards trying to guess Pokemon, and with Scribblio where we had only Pokemon. And we've tried doing that kind of thing before, but he wants to try and do it again. So.
Yeah, where we actually kind of take a little bit extra time to draw it the best we can.
Which, I mean, I ain't no fucking artist, I'll tell you that.
I don't think any of us are. Last time I checked, I wasn't.
I mean, I might be able to.
I mean, if you give me a second just to sit down and just, look at it myself, maybe.
Well, I think the whole point of a lot of it is to like do it from memory, right? Don't have a reference.
So what are we trying to draw?
Well, nothing right now. We're just talking about it.
Some of the stuff that he did do like references, but
Yeah.
or like when they were doing Pokemon, there were no references.
Right.
They were going by memory.
Right, and then sometimes he's looking at a reference while he's drawing it, and the other two people are trying to figure out what he's drawing. That's basically just Pictionary, though.
Like the Sonic making out with Mario thing.
Yeah.
That was a reference picture.
Yeah.
Also, that's technically a reference GIF, so that'd be a funny thing to watch somebody trying to draw a GIF.
Well, you normally just take a still from it.
Yeah.
It'd be like, meh.
It's like, no, I want to see if I can draw this while in movement.
And
give up after 5 seconds.
I finished editing our anime quiz. That will probably come out after this. But yeah, that's all.
I actually forgot we did that.
It was
Really?
like 2 days ago.
You forgot the very first video we filmed of the new year?
Yes.
Shameful.
How many days ago did you say it was, Nick?
He said 2.
I know it wasn't 2 days ago.
It felt like 2 days ago. It was like Saturday, wasn't it?
No.
No, I think it was last week.
I think it was last week too.
It was like last Saturday. Because remember I said I had to go to work.
I believe it was like the 7th or the 8th.
Yeah.
And it's the 18th, so like 10 days ago. Speaking of 10 days ago, I ordered something on Amazon and it finally showed up. And the Amazon driver, or the UPS driver who delivers all our Amazon packages, because it snowed like fucking crazy here,
I meant to ask you that when it was snowing.
Just straight up parked his truck in the road and walked all the way up our driveway to put the packages on the porch, because there was no way he was going to get the truck in our driveway and get back out.
Yeah.
Because it's just covered in snow, and I felt bad because he had to walk like pretty good distance.
Opens the door, hands you.
Walk.
Huh?
You felt bad he had to walk?
In snow.
In the cold, yeah. In snow in the cold, yeah. Also, he could bring me candy, ramen, and a toy.
I can just picture this happening too. He hands you the package and says, "Why do you live on a mountain?"
Like, literally, I bought a bag of Mike and Ike's, a box of like 30 Korean ramen, and a figurine of Gamera. Because I am a child.
Oh, it took me a second. I was like, Gamera or Gamora? And then it hit me. I was like, Gamera, Godzilla, duh.
No, Gamera's a turtle.
I know.
He's so cool.
I had a memory lapse and couldn't remember.
He's the defender of children, don't you know?
Isn't he also? No, that's different. I think that's a different person or a different monster. It's got like a rainbow thing going on.
Yeah, no, he's just a big fire-breathing turtle who can fly.
He can thrust.
Like, have you guys ever watched the original Gamera movie from like the 50s or whatever? That's in black and white? Because it's available on Amazon Prime for free if you haven't seen it.
I think I have seen the Angry Video Game Nerd talk about it.
So basically, I rewatched it. And, like, there's 2 scenes in it that, like, well, I mean, there's multiple scenes in it that just crack me up. But one of them was the scene where they're like, okay, so he's a big turtle, right? So all we gotta do is flip him onto his back, and then he can't get up and he'll just die there. So they put a bunch of explosives underneath him, blow it up, flip him over onto his back, and they're like, yeah, we did it. And then he sucks all of his appendages like in his shell, and then just fire starts spewing out of all his holes, and he just starts spitting super fast and just flies away like a fucking helicopter. And then obviously the ending of the movie where they like trick him into going to eat this giant thing of electricity and like slap this capsule closed on him, and it turns out he's in a big rocket ship and they shoot him to Mars. But I was thinking about it, right? Gamera's a giant fucking turtle. Like, he's the size, like, he's bigger than lighthouses, he's bigger than these fucking boats. So that fucking spaceship had to have been like the size of the Empire State Building, if not bigger, right?
Yeah.
How much, like, could we even get something that big into space? Just off of fuel, like, thrust? Could we even do that?
I don't know. We have a hard time getting regular rockets up into space.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't even think that's possible. And then I thought, it's a giant fire-breathing turtle. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Stop putting logic into these movies.
At this point, I don't think it matters. And then obviously, I mean, the dude can fucking fly, so obviously he can survive in space, and he's gonna come back. So he can fight other monsters. The next, like, 4 or 5 movies is just about him fighting other monsters. And then they, like, reboot the franchise. He gets 3 more movies, and then they reboot it again.
Just like with Godzilla.
And it's like 1 movie from 2006, and then Gamera's never heard from again. And it's quite sad.
It is funny how they reboot all the time, because like Godzilla did that so many times, and then it would always be like, this actually gets rid of everything except for the first movie.
Yeah, but like the thing about Godzilla is like he always adapted with the times, which is why he never went anywhere. Unlike Gamera and all the other big monster movies that disappear over the years.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the only one who's been like consistently around. And if that meant he had to go into like children's movies fighting with Ultraman, then that's what the fuck he's gonna do.
Or sleep in an iceberg until he has to fight King Kong. Because that's what happened in the second movie. He gets trapped in an iceberg, and then like 7 years later, in real life, he busts out and fights King Kong.
Do you hear me like exhaustively like
talk about something? Yeah.
While you're talking about fucking American Godzilla, like it fucking matters and people.
That wasn't American Godzilla. That wasn't American Godzilla. No, it's not. That's actual Japanese Godzilla. Because the movie's called Godzilla Raids Again. At the end of the movie, I don't remember who he fights. He fights something in the movie, and then the military like buries him in ice, and then so many years later he wakes up because of a nuclear sub, and then King Kong versus Godzilla happens.
But this is just movies. It's just movie night. That's what we're talking about, movies.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit more than movies.
It seems like all we've talked about is movies.
Well,
I guess maybe from my standpoint, that's what it seems like.
We were talking about video games a little, like, for the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about Scooby-Doo. We did talk about video games at some point, because I started talking about Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Star Wars video games. We didn't talk about the movies at all.
Nope. Because that's kind of just done to death.
Well, Nick, you got something you want to talk about in particular?
Okay. No.
Did we talk about Microsoft buying Activision?
We did a little bit. We talked about how much money it cost. We didn't really talk about any of the implications of it.
Well, what do you think some of the implications might be?
So I imagine that means all of the Call of Duties and stuff are going to get thrown up on Game Pass for free. Kind of like how a lot of the Battlefields are up there.
Which would be nice.
I hear some people saying that they think Call of Duty is going to go exclusive, but I don't think it will.
I don't see that happening.
Kind of like, you know how like, yeah, they own Minecraft, but Minecraft's still on everything. I feel like Call of Duty, it's like the best-selling game in the world, like consistently every year. I think they'd be dumb to limit that.
True.
Yeah.
What else did they? They got World of Warcraft. That's pretty much just a PC game anyway. I mean, you could throw that on Xbox maybe. There's not really a lot of MMOs on Xbox anyway.
That's true. And
Overwatch,
I think this
is
the
Overwatch
series
on PlayStation? I don't even know.
It is. My friend Nikki plays it.
I don't know anybody who plays Overwatch, but if it's already on there, I don't see them taking it off.
Yeah, I don't see them taking it off.
And I thought they were making a sequel, but I don't know what happened to that.
It got shown, and then all of a sudden, I never heard anything about it. That was like a year and a half ago, I
I'm trying to
think.
think of their other popular stuff, like what they have Dota, or do they have League?
You talking about Blizzard?
Is that one of
you talking
them?
about Blizzard?
Yeah, isn't
You
it?
talking about? I almost said Dota, but I actually don't remember now.
I think it's League, isn't it?
It might be League. That sounds
No, that's
actually
Riot.
more.
I don't think they own that at all, actually. I know they have. Isn't Hearthstone there? Is that card game? Isn't that based off of Bethesda? Or not Bethesda?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, isn't that Warcraft stuff? I don't actually know. I don't play any of that stuff.
I don't either. Jeremy does. He'd probably
We're looking at that list of things that they technically own now because of that, and like we were.
Well, it's not going to go into effect until like it said 2023 fiscal year.
Yeah, I know, but like we were looking at that list of stuff that they technically own now, and it was like a bunch of crap that nobody cares about.
Right.
Like Blur, that was a racing game that hasn't had a new one in like a bajillion years. Caesar,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Did-
Call of Duty, whatever. Candy Crush, that's phone shit. Nobody cares. Crash Bandicoot, that's actually kind of interesting because Crash Bandicoot's always kind of been a Nintendo exclusive, or not Nintendo, Sony exclusive. But whatever, I guess they could put all the old. Don't they have the Insane trilogy on Xbox?
It's on that and the Switch.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever. Diablo, I mean, that's just Blizzard stuff, and all the Diablos that currently exist are on everything.
Yeah, they've been multi-platform for a few years now.
DJ Hero, nobody gives a shit about that.
Unless they actually brought something back that would renew it.
I don't think they would. I think the time of plastic-based rhythm games is kind of dead.
Yeah,
like I know people still like busting out Guitar Hero every now and again for like a drunken party, but nobody's gonna go buy a new Guitar Hero.
No.
At least I don't think they would. Also, music nowadays sucks. Empire Earth, I have no idea what that is. Gabriel Knight, I have no idea what that is. Geometry Wars, I don't think has had a game in years, and that was like some indie arcade twin stick shooter thing.
Makes you want to. Well, they have Geometry Wars.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, it's a very anger-inducing game.
Okay, but I don't think they've made one in a long time.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero, again, nobody cares. Gun, yeah, that could be cool. Hearthstone, that's that card game that I was talking about a second ago. That I think is on mobile. So, Heroes of the Storm, is that their version of Dota? That might be. I don't know what that is. Hexen, I have no idea what that is. Interstate 76, sounds like a Fallout knockoff. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's probably some racing game, I guess. I don't know.
It sounds like a racing game.
Or like a truck simulator. King's Quest. That's that old point-and-click adventure game, right? That nobody cares about anymore?
Yeah.
Laura Bow's Mystery? I don't know what the fuck that is. The Lost Vikings? Don't know what that is. Overwatch, we were just talking about that. Phantasm... I don't know how you say that. Don't know what that is. Pitfall, that's an old Atari game that nobody cares about.
Yep.
Police Quest, don't know what that is. Prototype, They'd have to reboot probably, but you might be able to get those on Game Pass, the 2 that exist now. So that's kind of cool. Quest for Glory.
Actually, I just remembered. Both prototypes I actually think are backwards compatible, so they're already available on the Xbox.
They're not Game Pass though. They're not free with Game Pass. Singularity, which is a fantastic game and one of the last games that Ravensoft made before they got folded into Call of Duty support. I would love for that to get onto Game Pass because that game's really good. I don't know how you make a sequel to it though. Skylanders, I think, is for children and probably dead if it even still exists. Soldier of Fortune has not had a new game in a million years, so they could do something with that, but that would literally be competing with Call of Duty because it's the same kind of thing.
Right. Space
Quest, old point and click adventure game that nobody cares about. Spyro the Dragon. I mean, they redid the originals. I mean, I guess they could make a sequel. They made a sequel to Crash, so I guess that would sell pretty well. StarCraft, that's pretty much just a PC game anyway. Tenchu says, we were having a discussion about this. Legacy games, I think that just means the old ones. I don't think they have any of the newer ones. Time Shift is a mediocre first-person shooter that has time stuff involved in it. It's all right.
I forgot that's an Activision property.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I mean, do people care about skateboarding games anymore? I don't think they do.
That's the only one besides the skate games that anyone even has a soft spot
for. Right, but they haven't made a skate game in how long? And then the remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 was successful, but all the other ones have pretty much been crap.
Yeah, well, 4 is pretty good. And the only thing I can think of is if
4 was a bajillion years ago.
So were those two. They only got a remake because they're the most
That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying the remake was good and people like that, but all the other ones before that were pretty much crap.
The 5th one's considered the worst anyway.
True Crime, which True Crime's like a Call of Duty, is a Grand Theft Auto knockoff that got canceled. They were making one, they canceled it. Square Enix bought it, became Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is a cool game. I wouldn't mind another True Crime. I always liked them. World of Warcraft, and then Zork, that text-based adventure game that they slapped inside Black Ops for no reason. That nobody cares about. I mean, assuming that is a complete list, that's actually not that much stuff that people actually want.
Yeah, I'm sure more stuff might show up, but...
Well, the thing you gotta remember is Activision's been a publisher for forever, so they don't make their own stuff. They just pay other people to make it for them. Or they don't, they don't even own it. They just pay for these things to be made. So... you think this company with their fingers in all these games and their logo pops up on all these games, but they own basically none of them except for the really, really big ones. And some of the really, really old ones that nobody cares about anymore.
Who owns what used to be, or who is now Neversoft?
I don't think Neversoft exists anymore, but that was Activision owned them.
Did they own them?
I think so.
So then that's a possibility of we could actually see the return of the Tony Hawk Underground games.
We could.
Well, they said Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Like that list said Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but I think it's all Tony Hawk because I think Tony Hawk had a contract with Activision specifically.
He did. I actually just read that.
Yeah, the company was acquired by Activision in 1999.
Really? That would actually be pretty cool to get like
and they
an
made
HD
Guitar Hero
remake.
And Call of Duty, or not? Yeah, Guitar Hero and Tony Hawk, and then they got lumped into Call of Duty stuff, and they merged into Infinity Ward. They don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, when I looked it up, it said they're defunct.
Yeah, so they They ran them into the ground, making Guitar Heroes, and then when Guitar Hero died, they're like, all right, help them make Call of Duty, and then they're just like, all right, now you're just gonna be this studio too, and everybody's gonna make Call of Duty because that's the only thing that makes any money anymore. Yeah. Until they bought Blizzard, and then when they bought Blizzard, it's like, oh, cool, now we got World of Warcraft and these other things that also make money, and we're not just relying on Call of Duty for everything.
I'm kind of curious to see what they'll do, because with them owning all these properties now, like, it'd be pretty cool to see like a crossover between World of Warcraft and like the Elder Scrolls series. I'd never play it, but the idea is pretty cool.
I mean, I think it'd be cool. Like, they don't just own the World of Warcraft. Like, they own Warcraft, so they could make more Warcraft games or games in the Warcraft universe. Like, they could do something with that.
Is it? Well, cool. No, I mean,
or StarCraft. They could make like, because StarCraft is like a strategy game, right? But they could make like a StarCraft shooter or something else that isn't that, just in that universe that exists that they have set up. So that could be cool. But I feel like a lot of these properties that they got that people don't care about, like Space Quest and Zork and all that stuff, like, those are probably just gonna stay dead. And then like the more popular ones they might keep going with, and they might try to reboot some of the ones that were popular that haven't existed in a while. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where this is gonna go, because I mean, they could throw something out there that would completely take people by surprise, be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Or they could ruin everything.
Yeah, that's a big possibility too. Hey, we decided to remake Prototype, but this time it's going to be a little more kid-friendly. Now you attack people with ponies.
You know, that's actually... You ever play Red Faction Armageddon?
Is that the one with the unicorn gun?
Yup.
I've seen that on so many top 10 favorite like weapons lists.
Yeah, it's stupid. But okay. I think we gotta wrap this up. So
yeah, okay. I gotta get up in the morning and go to the airport with my mom and aunt.
Alright, so thanks for listening to us ramble about whatever topics popped into our head for like an hour.
Don't forget about Betty White. R.I.P.
Yeah. Okay.
We talked about important things.
Sure. Anyway, bye-bye.
Bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
I said that, but yeah, like, share, subscribe. Do all that jazz.
Slide into our DMs.
We don't have those.